Good morning. It's Tuesday, March 18th. And the other day in the Senate, something very unusual happened. There was a unanimous vote. And that doesn't happen too often because there's always people who see the world a little bit differently. But in this particular case, the U.S. Senate voted unanimously to demand the ending and the toppling of Hamas. Now, we all know what Hamas is in our minds. Hamas is an evil organization. So this bipartisan resolution in the U.S. Senate demands the total removal of Hamas from military political control of the Gaza Strip. It backs Israel's right to self-defense against Hamas and Iran, and it calls for President Trump to target Iranian funding of Hamas. And that is an amazing event in my mind because of the unanimous demanding of the toppling of the Hamas regime and calling on the Trump administration to aggressively target Iranian funding for the Gaza terror group. Now, this resolution passed unanimously in the upper chamber of Congress, and it affirms that Hamas cannot retain any political or military control of the Gaza Strip. The U.S. Senators Lindsey Graham, Richard Blumenthal, Tom Cotton, Jackie Rosen, Katie Britt, and John Fetterman introduced this resolution. So this resolution was not a one or two man thing, but a team of active, progressive senators, I will call them, thinkers who want something to happen that will be good for the world. Not only good for Israel, but good for the world. And I am very pleased the entire U.S. Senate spoke with moral clarity when it comes to the barbaric terrorist organization called Hamas. That's what Lindsey Graham said. With one voice, the Senate said Hamas cannot be in charge of Gaza militarily or politically ever again. It's the right and it's the only answer. I am proud of my Senate colleagues. That's a strong statement to me. And the bill's co-sponsor, Senator Blumenthal, said the Islamist terrorist group Hamas is a disgrace to Palestinians and Israelis alike. It's a disgrace to all that live in that region. Their barbarity and inhumanity is a terrorist scourge, he said. And that's been demonstrated most tragically in the October 7th massacre, which is a major barrier to peace and stability. So eliminating Hamas ought to be a common ground as a major goal in that society. And Tom Cotton called Hamas a group of murderous terrorists with American and Israeli blood on their hands. So the United States, he said, must back Israel to the hilt and help ensure that Hamas isn't allowed to retain any political or military control in Gaza. And in addition to calling for the removal of Hamas from power in Gaza as a military force and as a de facto civil government, the resolution urging President Donald Trump to use all economic and diplomatic tools available to halt the sources of funding for Hamas by Iran and all other sources of revenue. It also affirms U.S. support for Israel's right to self-defense against Hamas, Iran, and other Iranian proxies. So this is a major step in the U.S. government because we have stepped forward and publicly denounced Iran and their horrific actions that they have taken over the years in that part of the world. And we all know that on October 7th, Hamas massacred and murdered and raped and kidnapped innocent civilians. And they ought to be paying a heavy price for that action. Senator Britt of Alabama said it best. He said the threat of Hamas must be permanently ended. And our support of Israel's right to defend itself must be unwavering as they work to bring every single hostage home. Only through strength can we achieve lasting, sustainable peace in the region. So in order to ensure the safety and security of Israel, as well as the Palestinian people, Hamas cannot be allowed to remain in power in Gaza in any capacity. And that is what they said, this group of people. That's what they came to the table and said, and I think it needs to be done. So I leave you with that this morning. A tremendous act by our government, by our senators. They should be proud of themselves. I am happy to deliver this news. Have a great day. Bye. Thank you.